that intro. Before I say anything, I was just in the back, and Michelle texted me and said, whatever you do, please make sure that I have you meet Robert Rodriguez, because he's our kind of human. Which is also her way of saying, code for, say something nice about Robert Rodriguez. I started acting when I was 7 years old. I went out to Hollywood when I was in my early 20s. I thought everyone was gonna say, we haven't seen anything like him since Robert De Niro. A year and a half went by, I couldn't get an agent. I went back home, and my father took me to see a movie called El Mariachi. And that $7,000 movie gave me just enough confidence to pursue my dreams. So thank you, Robert, for El Mariachi. You know, when Michelle asked me to present this award, my thought was, me? Because Michelle Rodriguez doesn't ask for shit. She fights for everything, but will never ask for anything. So the fact that she asked me made me feel so flattered and so honored. But then I thought, I could spend 5 hours talking about her, how important she is to me, to the world. You know, it's such a blessing in life, almost underrated, to have a bond with someone that is truly ride or die. To have a bond with someone that goes beyond the 25-year longest love relationship in cinema, that goes beyond Hollywood. Who Michelle is, you know all of her incredible films and what she does on cinema. But for me, what I could share here is a personal description of an angel that somehow God gives you in your life. We've been through so much together. When I first was offered the role of Dom Toretto, they described the role and I was so excited, and I said, okay, I'm gonna do this role, and I didn't read the script yet. And I immediately thought of who Letty could possibly be, because I was coming from New York City, I was in Hollywood, and I wanted to get the most authentic person I could think of to play opposite Dom. And I was a huge fan of this movie called Girl Fight. And it made me feel very, she was such a representation of the East Coast. So we were two East Coast people. And I got the script, and I didn't like the way they had written my character or her character, and so I said, I'm not gonna do the movie. And to Rob Cohen's credit, he hired a guy named David Ayer, and we went page by page and rewrote this script that celebrated this, at the time, this kind of new love story with Dom and Letty. I never thought that 25 years later, I would be here in this incredible room and celebrating this incredible talent. Go ahead, clap them up. Okay, not too much. Okay, come on. Okay, so what can I tell you? You want some juicy stuff? We've been through so much together. Obviously, you can imagine the hard times that we went through together in losing a brother, and how that changes your life forever. And thank God Michelle was there. Thank God Michelle was there, because who knows if any of us would be here if she wasn't there to support us through that. When we started, we were just two kids from the East Coast. That was the authenticity behind the film, behind the characters we played. A few years later, I only overheard her talking to my mother, and she started talking about the fact that she was from Texas. Now, I know you're all from Texas, but a kid that grows up in New York City doesn't even believe that there's a Texas. Literally, there's nothing beyond the Hudson River. So when she said she was from Texas, I had to go to therapy and go, how are you from Texas? But I only found out because she would have these long talks with my mother. This is what it's like on set. About 13 years ago, I had and this is a very personal thing, so let's just keep this between us, okay? I met my biological father. I'd gone into my 40s and didn't know I had a biological father. And I met him. And the first thing he wanted to do was talk to Michelle. He wanted to know everything about me, and he felt, if I go to Michelle, I'll learn everything about my son that I just discovered. And what was so profound, when she was talking to him, I learned that he's from Texas. And that not only is he from Texas, we still have a ranch that's been here since the 1800s in San Antonio, or right outside of San Antonio, where she was born. And it just were these two representations of New York, realizing we've got Texas roots. So it's finally good to be home. Welcome home. Is the hat too much? Okay. I'm just getting used to I just starting this hat game. Thank you. Michelle Rodriguez there's no words to describe her. I just am so blessed to have her in my life. Whether she's letting my 14-year-old son DM her in Dungeons and Dragons, or whether she's teaching my 9-year-old how to do one-arm push-ups, she is so much a part of my life. I am so grateful, so blessed to love her on screen and off screen, and she knows this to be true. I will love her forever. So I'm supposed to remember this line. Roll the clip.